Hello, today we're in the house. We're about to start some seeds indoors, and I'm going to plant pepper seeds. This is the setup I'm using. It's got a lid, cell pack, all the dirt goes in there, and the seeds, and a tray. That's to catch water. There's nice drainage holes on the bottom. This is a newer setup for me. I had some older ones that have since sort of been destroyed, and this one feels like it'll last maybe the same amount of time before it gets destroyed too. So I don't know. I don't have any recommendations yet on brand for cell packs, seed starting packs. If ever it doesn't fit in your budget to have a setup like this, I have grown in strawberry containers and just taken toilet paper rolls and cut them in half and then put soil in those, and it works just fine. And then you would just put the strawberry container, still you find something in the way of a tray to catch water. I do have seed starting mix today. I don't always. Sometimes I use potting soil. When you do that, you just have to kind of take some of the chunky stuff and put it off to the side because you want the softer stuff. And so this seed starting mix is a whole bag of soft stuff. It's really fine. And we're going to fill up the cells and dump some on the floor. Whoops. So just make sure each cell gets filled. Get that spot that I spilled. There we go. I got my chair a little bit too. All right. And I like to make sure that all the soil is in a cell, because when you dump it like that, it will get on the edges a little bit. So you just take your finger and wipe it into a cell. Okay, I'm going to take this to the kitchen sink and I'm going to dampen my soil. You can do that at the end. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to put the water a little bit warm. Pepper seeds like to germinate in warm soil, so I'm going to just start that out by making the soil warm in the first place. All right. I'm just going to dampen each one of these cells. Now I'm going to put a pepper into each one of these. This is Ivarski pepper. I'm all out of seeds in this pack. I just noticed today, but that's okay. I seed harvested this year for that reason. So I have seeds in here. And I might put 2 in each of these cells.
Yeah.
You coming through? I can shut it off for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put 2 in each cell, and then as they grow,
Yeah.
more talking.
Go ahead and check on Maddie every now and then.
Yeah.
See what's going on. That was fun to go over to the shop with
Yeah. I love
you. Good. You're recording yourself right now?
Yeah, I can edit or mute or something. Normally when I start seeds indoors, I just put 1 seed per cell. But feeling uncertain because this is my first time seed harvesting peppers. I usually just buy a new seed packet. So I liked these because I'm always trying new peppers, but I like these Ivarsky peppers so much. I want to make them a part of our regular garden and every year. And so I wanted to see if I could teach myself to seed harvest. So if they both come up, I'll thin them down. But there's the hope that I did something right in seed harvesting and can grow from my own pepper seeds. So this is a trial. We'll see how it goes. I mentioned a moment ago that peppers like warmth to germinate. And that being the case, a trick I learned a while back and have employed every year since then is to put a heating pad underneath the tray. You know, just the heating pad you use for your back. Just plug it in, turn it on, and put it under the tray. Just until they germinate, just until you start to see sprouts. And then you can take it out. And I'm going to share this tray with Pippin Golden Honey Pepper. I don't have a picture for you. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do. I can just edit a picture in. They start out purple when they first come out, and then they turn a golden yellow, golden honey color, and they are tasty. This is my second time doing those also. That's debatable if it will always have place in my garden, but this, the other one, the Ivarsky pepper, oh boy, I think it needs to be forever in the rotation. It is so good. So I don't have seed harvesting tips for you because I am new at seed harvesting. Pepper seeds, other seeds. Some seeds are so easy to harvest. Peas, for example, just let your peas go dry on the vine and harvest them. Easy peasy. And hopefully these all work. And then we'll have plants to give away and share with friends and plant in our garden. I always have extra plants because I don't need this many pepper plants in my yard. I didn't do this row yet. I'm going back to Ivarski, so I have extra of something. That's the one I want extra. I'm going to put a little bit of seed starting mix on top of these. When you start seeds in the house, they really don't need much depth. So surface sow most of them, or just cover them a little bit with a little dusting of the seed starting mix. You know, I've also had seeds go moldy on me before, and they don't when I cover them with a little extra dusting of seed starting mix. So that's one of the motivators for me for just covering them a little bit. Okay, this is going back to the sink to water again. Okay, once again I'm going with sort of a lukewarm water. I have the pressure up a little high. I don't want to wash my seeds away. You can top water, which is what I'm doing. You can lift the cell pack and fill the tray with water, and then the plants, the soil can drink water from those holes that were on the bottom of the cell pack. I like to top water, I don't know. Gardener's choice. Okay, let's make sure we've covered everything. These are planted, and I've got the top on now. The top stays on until germination, or when you start to see sprouts coming up. Pepper seeds like warmth, so I'm going to put the heating pad underneath it, and then set this on my shelving unit in the studio, where we have lights set up, and I use shop lights. When the lid comes off, say they've sprouted, right? Lids come off, lids come off, take the heating pad away, done with the heating pad. We have little sprouts here, pretend, right? Keep the light really close to the plants as best as you can without being right on top of them, touching them. The reason for that is these seedlings, when they start growing, will look for light. And if the light source is too far away, they grow fast. And when that happens, the plants get called, it's what people call leggy, and that just means that it grew so fast that the stem is quite thin and spindly and floppy, and we want the plant to grow a little slower and to be stocky and strong. So keep the light source close, whether your light source is on chains that you can lower, or whether you're putting this, on a box or something, and keep it right close to the light. Okay, and then let's see if we have any other tips. I'm trying to think. Yeah, when the seedlings reach 2 or a little bit more inches, and they have 2 to 4 true leaves on them. That's not counting the cotyledon or seed leaves. Those are the first leaves you're going to see when they come out of the seed and they start to grow. There'll be a stem, and there will be 2 leaves coming from it. Those are called stem leaves. Those are called seed leaves or cotyledon leaves. So ignoring that, when 4 more leaves come on, and they're called true leaves, and they look like the pepper plant, they look like pepper leaves because they are, that's when I pot on. And so I'll take them out of the cell and I will pot them in something larger, which I use this is just our family's yogurt containers. We buy this is bigger than the small ones, and smaller than, there's a bigger tub of yogurt, but anyways, drill holes in the bottom for drainage, and then fill it with potting soil, and then get that seedling in there, and then you pot that seedling in there, and again leave it under the lights. By then you've increased the distance between the light and the plant, but still keeping it close to the plant until you're ready to plant out. As you're approaching time to plant out into the garden, you do what's called hardening off the plant. You harden off the plant by taking it outside in increasing increments each day. So the first day I would just take them out and put them outside, out in the air, and get used to the temperature for about an hour, and then put them back inside under the lights again. And then the next day maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then on and on until each day increases the amount of time the plant has spent outside. And so then it's used to it, and then you do that for about a week, and then you plant them out into the garden. Why start seeds inside? A couple reasons. One, starting your own seeds gives you the chance to browse online and find heirloom seeds and different varieties that you've never heard of, and you might want to try them and fall in love with them. So choice. And then the second reason is to be able to put a plant in the ground in April when the danger of freeze is over. That's when you would put out some of these hardy plants like tomatoes and peppers and things. For us, that's April, beginning of April, end of March. So then we're putting a plant out rather than starting a seed at that time outside. You can put tomato seeds right in the ground, but then what? Pepper seeds, these types of seeds that we're starting in the house, you can direct seed outside, but the indoor conditions get it started sooner. So it's January, it's end of January right now. And then when I plant out, I'll have a plant rather than just barely starting a seed, and maybe it doesn't really get its footing outside, or maybe it does grow, but then it doesn't get as much of a head start as it needs before, say, the extreme heat that we get in July comes along and makes the plant go dormant. And so maybe it didn't have enough time to grow, or there's so many conditions, and we can just troubleshoot that whole thing by starting the seeds in the house. So seeds that I start in the house every year: peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't start onions because that's one that I have had success direct sowing in the ground. I'm going to be trying celery this year, and so I'm going to start that in the house. I have started, there's a lot of things I've started in the house that I don't really feel like I need to. I've had great success starting broccoli by seed directly outside, and so then I'm going, well, why bother with the whole tray thing and watch, keeping them watered and watching them grow in the house when I can just put a seed in the ground and not really think about it. Onions, I've done both ways. Kale seems like a waste of time doing it in the house because they grow just fine when I put them in straight into the ground. Spinach, it's ridiculous. Spinach grows outside just fine. So then why take the time and the thought to do this? So this is mainly for those plants that I really need to jumpstart because it would, potentially not be a good season for them if I direct sowed them in the ground later. Okay, I think that's everything. Warmth. Keep the lid on until they germinate. Pot them on when they have 4 true leaves. Keep them under lights. How long? I'd have to look that one back up. I think I do 12 hours, but I don't think I even have notes on that. I might just double check online and see, how long do people leave the lights on each day. It seems like it's 12 hours, but I could be wrong. That's something I would just double check on. Because even though I've been doing this for years, I don't always memorize all my timing and everything. And then hardening them off for 1 week before putting them out in the garden. That's about it. This is not that hard to do. Just, make sure they don't get dried out. You gotta keep watering them. I think that's all the tips I have. If there's something I didn't cover and you need knowledge on it, ask a question in the comments and or tell us what seeds you start indoors or any other tips you might have for people. Yeah, just go ahead and put that in the comments. I look forward to reading those. And if you're new to the channel, sure would love for you to subscribe and come check out the channel every now and again because it's fun. It's fun to have an audience and to watch the channel grow. I think that's it. Happy gardening.